toothpaste are classified under dentifrices. Okay, dentifrices are a part of cosmetics which takes care of your oral hygiene. Okay, of your teeth, gums, and that part. Okay, what does this dentifrices do? They help to reduce the caries. They remove your plaque. They take care of your they take care in gingivitis, hypersensitivity. They stop your dental erosion. Okay, they remove the stain. Okay, so these all. So whenever you talk about oral hygiene, okay, the teeth, gums, cheeks, etc., everything. When you talk about that, then those are classified under your dentifrices. Toothpastes are a type of dentifrice, okay, which are present in the semi-solid paste form. Okay, what is the basic purpose of the toothpaste? It is for cleansing of the teeth. It is in order to stop bad smell, in order to freshen your mouth, and also in order to give it the in order to make the teeth healthy. Why they are classified as cosmetics? Because teeth, if you have healthy teeth, if you have white teeth, then your appearance look to be attractive. Also, a bad smell, okay, if there is a bad smell, then you are cosmetically, you are socially not acceptable amongst your peers, right? If you are smelling good, if your oral cavity it smells good, then you're acceptable socially inside a group. Okay, now sometimes toothpaste are also classified as drug because they contain fluoride. Okay, many toothpaste they contain fluoride, and fluoride is classified into drug. So as an active ingredient, fluoride is present inside the toothpaste. So this fluorinated toothpaste are many times classified under drugs also. Okay. So let us what is the definition of your toothpaste and your dentifrice, and then about this. So toothpaste, it is a dentifrice in the form of semi-solid paste, normally used with a tooth. It is very important that a toothpaste is usually used with a toothbrush. Okay, and what is the purpose for it? For cleaning of teeth, for maintaining aesthetics, to for making your breath smell nice, okay, and feel fresh, and also to make your teeth healthy. It can also be considered as a cosmetics, or it can also be considered as a drug because of the presence of fluoride, which is an active ingredient. Dentifrices, as I talked about, dentifrices serve multiple function in oral hygiene, teeth. Okay, oral hygiene, teeth, and other parts of the oral cavity. It helps to reduce the caries, plaque, gingivitis, hypersensitivity, dental erosion, calculus, stain, etc. Dentifrices can be of different types. They can be in different forms. They can be in the form of paste. They can be in the form of powders, that is tooth powder, etc. They can be in the form of liquid, that is mouthwash, etc. They can be in the form of gels, that is tooth gels, etc. Okay. We are talking about toothpaste, so let us see what are the pastes. Okay. Now, paste are the semi-solid preparation which contains high proportion of solid ingredients. Okay. So that is the most important thing, that it contains high percentage of solids than any other semi-solid preparation. Okay, so paste or semi-solid dosage form contain one or more drug substances. In case of cosmetics, the drug substance may be absent. Okay, so it contains one or more drug substances intended for topical application. Their basically intention is for application of topical application. They are thick in nature, and one of the they are thick in nature because they contain high percentage of solids. So this is most important thing. It is thick in nature and it contains high percentage of solids. Paste can be classified into two forms. You can call them as aqueous gels, or you can classify them as fatty paste. Okay. So this is about the definition of a toothpaste, definition of dentifrice, and definition of a paste. This is the introductory part of your toothpaste. what is the objective, what is the need, what is the importance, the role, and what are the ideal characteristics that are required from your toothpaste. The primary function of your toothpaste is to aid in cleaning in order to remove the dirt, etc., that is present on your teeth. So it helps in cleaning. It helps along with your toothpaste. Your toothpaste should glide, okay, onto your teeth, and as it consists surfactant, your toothpaste consists of abrasive, consists of surfactants. So these abrasive agents and surfactants together, okay, what they help is they help in removal of dirt. Like your surfactants that are present in shampoo, they were helping in removal of dirt. In the similar manner, okay, the surfactants that are present inside the toothpaste, they also help in cleansing of your teeth. Okay. Apart from cleansing of teeth, it also delivers preventive and therapeutically active agents, fluoride, metal salts, and pyrophosphates, calcium also. Okay, so deliver the agents, active agents such as these to the teeth. It gives refreshing breath. As I told you, it aids in cleaning by removal of food particles. Okay, it helps in what you call that, reduction of plaque. Okay, and also removes the stain or inhibits the formation of stain. It polishes your tooth surface. There are some cosmetical advantages also, benefits also of your toothpaste. It causes whitening of teeth. It causes bleaching of teeth. White teeth are cosmetically more acceptable. Okay. It also helps in desensitizing of teeth. Okay. If there is some sensitivity, etc., that is there to the teeth, then that can be removed. And also it gives the protection against periodontal problems. Okay, so these are the different what to call that, objective, needs, importance, or role, or ideal characteristics that are required from your toothpaste. See here, what are the different types of categories of ingredients that are required to be added inside the toothpaste in order to make a toothpaste which will be satisfying all the criterias or all the roles or all the uses that you have seen in the last slide. So one of the ingredients that are added inside your toothpaste are the abrasives. Okay, now let me clarify you over here. Basically, though we are talking about abrasives over here, but basically abrasivity, okay, this property is usually given by your toothbrush. Toothpaste are as such not being used, okay, alone. Toothpaste are always used along with a toothbrush, that we saw yesterday in one of the points I told you, that toothbrush are used along with the what, they are used along with the toothbrushes. Okay, so this abrasivity basically is provided by the toothpaste. Now, what is the use of this abrasivity? Why do you add abrasive agents? Abrasive agents and a little bit of abrasivity may be provided by the ingredients that we are adding. Now, why do you provide that? What is the use of this abrasivity? It is basically used for grinding and polishing of the teeth. These abrasive agents help you to remove the food particles that are adhere to your teeth. Okay, without scratching it or without removing the natural, without removing the luster. In fact, it brings out the natural luster which has been hidden behind the stains or behind the food particles. So it removes the substances that are adhere to the surface of the teeth. Okay. So whatever the substances are adhere to the surface of the teeth, it removes it without scratching it, so it does not harm your teeth also. And finally, what it basically does is it brings out the natural luster that your teeth actually is having. Okay, so it is basically used for abrasing, it is used for grinding, and is basically used for polishing. These abrasive agents are used for that. Okay, now the degree of abrasivity of this toothpaste, it depends upon three things. It depends upon the hardness of the abrasive agent, the agents that you are adding. What is the hardness of this abrasive agent? It depends upon that. we are going to talk about the hardness of the abrasive agents further. It also depends upon the morphology of the particles. So if the particles are small, it is not going to be abrasive in nature. If the particles are bigger in size, then they are going to be more abrasive in nature. Smaller size particles are less abrasive in nature. If you are using a toothpaste, usually is considered to be usually considered to be soft in nature. Okay, if you take toothpaste in your hand and if you rub it, or any paste, not the leave upside the example of toothpaste, but if you take paste in your hand and if you rub it in between the fingers, what do you find it? You find it to be very soft in nature. It does not have any abrasivity. Okay, whereas if you take a tooth powder and if you rub it in between the hands, in between your fingers, then you will find that it is more abrasive in nature, because usually the powders are also intended to be applied with the help of toothbrush usually. Okay, and but many a times fingers is being used for application of tooth powders. In that case, you will find it to be a little bit abrasive in nature. Now, this abrasivity can also be compared when you compare a face powder and a tooth powder or toothpaste. Okay, or another paste and a toothpaste. If you take face powder and if you rub it in between your finger, you'll find it to be very soft and non-abrasive in nature. Whereas if you take tooth powder and if you rub it between your fingers, you'll feel that abrasivity. It is because of the hardness of the agents that you are adding inside that particular tooth powder. Okay, and also because of the morphology of the particles. If you take face powders, okay, then face powders, the agents that have been added, the first and the basic requirement is that the particle size should be as small as possible. It should be micronized, okay, in case of face powder, whereas in case of tooth powders you don't require that. Okay, coming back, the degree of abrasivity depends upon your hardness of the abrasive agents. It depends upon the morphology of the particle, and it also depends upon how much quantity of that ingredient, abrasive agent, you are adding inside the paste. Okay, higher the concentration of the abrasive agent that you are adding inside the toothpaste, that is the solid particles, more abrasive your toothpaste is going to be. Okay, now if we talk about the hardness of abrasive agents, okay, the hardness of abrasive agent should be should be 3 or less than 3. Why should the hardness of the abrasive should be should be 3 or less than 3? What is the reason for it? Okay, because if you take the hardness of enamel, that is the outer part of your tooth. Okay, so the hardness of the enamel, which is the outer tooth surface, it is usually 6 to 7 on Mohs scale. Okay, what is Mohs scale? So this is the Mohs scale which is been given by Mohs, whereby he is giving numbering to different substances. On his scale, talc comes on number 1, which is less abrasive in nature, whereas diamond comes on number 10, which is highly abrasive in nature, and in between lies other ingredients. Okay, so your tooth surface lies in between 6 and 7. Okay, where comes your steel? If you see over here, steel is been mentioned over here. So jitna hard aapka steel hai in between 6 to 7, that much hardness your tooth enamel is having. Okay, and as your tooth enamel is having hardness of 6 to 7 on the Mohs scale, okay, that's why your abrasive should be less than 3. Okay, so your abrasives are harder than your dentine. So dentine is the one which is present below the enamel. So it is harder than your dentine, but less harder than your enamel. Okay, that is the hardness of your abrasives that are using inside the toothpaste. Now, if you talk about the particles, okay, particle size, then the particle size should be 20 microns or less. Okay, if you have the particle size more than 20 microns, then it may damage your tooth surface and it may damage your gums also, because you are applying it to the gum also. So the abrasivity should be less than 3 or less than 3 on Mohs scale, and the particle size should be less than 20 microns. Okay, as I told you, the abrasives in the toothpaste should not be as hard as enamel. Okay, should not be as hard as enamel, because it is then going to affect your enamel, that is the outer surface, but it should be harder than your dentin. Okay, dentin a little bit softer, the inner part is a little bit softer, so it should be harder than your dentin, that is it should be in between, should be 3 or less than 3. The next factor of these abrasive agents is the pH of the abrasive agents. The pH of this abrasive agent should be weakly acidic or weakly alkaline in nature. Okay. Otherwise, if it is highly acidic, needless to say, if it is acidic or if it is alkaline, then it is going to affect your gums also, and it is going to affect your teeth also further. Okay. And they should be white in color, because usually your toothpaste are white in color, and they should be insoluble in water also, and they should be flavorless and colorless. It itself should not have any flavor or odor, because it is then going to affect the flavor and odor that you are further going to add to your toothpaste. Let us see some examples of the abrasive agents that have been used. One of the examples of abrasive agent that has been used very widely used is calcium carbonate. Now, this calcium carbonate is used for 2 to 3 reasons. Okay, the basic reason why it is used is because it is used as an abrasive. Okay, the second reason why it is used is because it is alkaline in nature. Okay, as it is alkaline in nature, so if we are going to see further reaction how the caries is getting formed. The caries gets formed because of this formation of acid between the carbohydrates. Okay, carbohydrates, the food particles that you use. These carbohydrates reacts with your microorganisms, and these microorganisms, they basically prepare acids. Okay, so acid is getting secreted. These acids, supposing this is your tooth, okay, and on this tooth, this acid gets attacked. This acid attacks, which is formed because of your carbohydrates, that is your food, and because of the microorganisms which are omnipresent. They are present inside your buccal cavity. Okay, because of this reaction, acid formation takes place, and this acid attacks on your tooth enamel. Your tooth enamel is very strong. Remember, you have seen the hardness. It is near about how much? It is near to the hardness of your steel. Steel का जितना hardness होता है उतना होता है. So as such, it is not going to get affected. But because of this acid, the constant attack of acid on this tooth, usually what happens is a hole is getting generated inside it. As the hole gets generated, this carbohydrate sits more on it. This microorganisms further act on it. Further acid is created, and this hole goes on becoming bigger and bigger. Okay, and this is how the caries formation takes place. So this acid which has been present can be neutralized by your calcium carbonate, which is alkaline in nature. That is one use of it. Okay, second use of it is it provides a rich source of calcium. Your tooth enamel is made up of calcium, so it provides a rich source of calcium to the tooth. Okay, so first is regarding your acid neutralization of acid. Second is it becomes a rich source of calcium, and the third and the most important, we are studying it under the abrasives. Okay, calcium carbonates are fine, white, odorless, microcrystalline powder, and they are practically insoluble in water. Okay, they are used as abrasive from a long period of time. Basically, if you take any tooth powder, then tooth powder would be containing your calcium carbonate, which is used as an abrasive. Okay, the abrasivity of if you take calcium carbonate, it is higher than calcium phosphate, which you are going to study further. Okay, there are two types that are available. You have an heavy calcium carbonate, which is obtained from limestone, or you can have a precipitated type of calcium carbonate, which is obtained from calcium hydroxide. So this is about the calcium carbonate, one of the abrasive agents that are being used. The second type of abrasive agent that is being used is calcium phosphate dibasic. Okay, it's also known as calcium phosphate dibasic. It's also known as calcium phosphate dibasic dihydrate. Okay, two forms are there. You have an anhydride form, which does not contain any water molecule, which is harder. Okay, and you have an anhydride form, which is harder, and you have a dihydrate form. which is usually softer than your anhydride form. Usually you use the combination of anhydride and dihydride, because anhydride is going to be very hard in nature as compared to your dihydride. So usually the combination is used, or combination of your anhydride along with calcium carbonates can be used. The dihydride form is, as I told you, it is mild abrasive. It is not as hard as anhydride, and it is not a harder abrasive. So it usually, dihydride form is usually more preferred. Calcium phosphate is neutral in pH. It is compatible with most of the ingredients. Only problem that the dihydride form has is, dihydride form, when you keep for a longer period of time, it changes to your anhydride form, and because of it, it makes your toothpaste a little bit harder. Okay, so usually magnesium salt or other stabilizers is required to be added when you are using calcium phosphate. So the two examples that we have seen for your abrasives are calcium carbonate and calcium phosphate, okay, which are widely being used. There are other ingredients also which are being used as abrasive. For example, silica, okay, it can be used suitable in toothpaste which are containing fluorides, okay, because they do not form an insoluble salt with when it reacts with fluoride, which may be formed with your calcium carbonate or calcium phosphate. Then other abrasives which have been used are aluminum hydroxide. You can use calcium pyrophosphate. You can use sodium metaphosphate. Okay, and also magnesium carbonate can be used. So one of the ingredients that is used in your ingredients that is used in your toothpaste is your abrasives. Okay, so we have seen about the abrasives. Let us move further. Okay, to the second ingredient that has been added is your binders. Now, as I told you, your toothpaste, it consists of high quantity of powders, that is solid material. Along with that, what it contains, it contains liquid. So toothpaste consists of your solid as well as liquid. These powders, okay, these solids and liquids, they are binded together, and they are not allowed to be separated with the use of these binders. So they prevent the separation of powders and liquid ingredient. It also gives a good degree of viscoelasticity, okay, to your toothpaste, which has been required. Next thing that it does is, as it binds the solid to the liquid, okay, so somewhat like humectant it is working, okay, it is binding the water together, okay, along with the solids. Hence it also prevents the toothpaste from drying out. Okay, these binders, they have a good influence on your dispersion, foaming, rinsing, and other qualities of your toothpaste. So the second ingredient that is used is binder, which is used for prevention of for preventing the separation of your powders and liquids. It provides the viscoelasticity. It prevents the toothpaste from drying, and it also helps in dispersion, foaming, and rinsing property of your toothpaste. Example of the binder that are being used are sodium carboxymethyl cellulose. You have seen this when you have studied about the polymers, when you have studied about tablet coating. Okay, that time you have seen this. This sodium carboxymethyl cellulose, if you remember, you have also used as a binder when you are preparing the granules. Okay, these polymers are also used as binders when you are preparing the granules. So it acts as a binder. It basically forms a gummy substance, a sticky substance when you mix it with water. When the sodium carboxymethyl cellulose, or most of the polymer, you can take HPMC also, examples we are going to see further. Okay, most of the polymers, PVP, etc., that also you have used as a binder, they basically form a sticky substance. Okay, hence they are used as a binder. Okay. So one of the example is sodium carboxymethyl cellulose. It is widely being used in toothpaste because it is soluble in water. Okay, so it is widely used binder as it is soluble in water. It is physiologically inactive in nature. It is compactable with all the ingredients. It is highly stable. Okay, and obtained at a very low price. Okay, so a proper grade, as I told you, if you remember when you're talking about coating, that time I have told you that there are many grades of polymers that are available. Each polymer has different grade. So you can use a proper grade that from the many available grades that are there in the market in order to use it as a toothpaste. Moving ahead with other binders that are used, as I told you, you have other binders such as methyl cellulose, hydroxyethyl cellulose, hydroxypropyl cellulose. You can use HPMC, okay, and many other PBP can be used as the binder, and many other cellulosic derivatives can be used as a binder. Then you can use polysaccharides, for example, sodium alginate, carrageenan, okay, xanthan gum can be used. You can use other synthetic polymer, for example, sodium polyacrylate, okay. Then you can use organic clay, for example, bentonite, laponite, okay. These are the different ingredients that can be used in as a binder in your toothpaste. Moving further, the next ingredient that is added in your toothpaste are humectant. Humectant, as I told you, humectant and binder, they play a little bit of similar role. Now, what does a humectant usually do is it does not allow the loss of water from the paste. If you keep the paste for a longer period of time in a tube, you can purchase any bad toothpaste. You know, not only toothpaste, but you can purchase any bad paste that is available inside the market. Okay, road पे वगैरह आपको जो paste मिल जाते हैं ना, उसको एक बार purchase कर लेना. Okay, and just keep it in your house for a longer period of time. You must have seen this with your normal paste also that are available inside your house. If you keep it for a longer period of time, say 1 year or 2 years, then you will find that this toothpaste, they become flaky in nature, something like this. Okay, they become something like this. They become flaky in nature. Normally, your toothpaste should look like this. Okay, this is how your toothpaste looks like. But if you keep for a longer period of time, it becomes flaky in nature and it hardens because of the loss of water or loss of moisture from it. Okay, so what does this humectant do is this, and why does this happen? Because whatever water is present inside, this water is getting lost from it. The water is getting removed from it. And as the water is getting removed from it, the consistency of this toothpaste is converted to this. Okay, it becomes flaky in nature. The creamy texture is getting lost. What do the humectants do? Humectants are usually the polyalcohols. Okay, whatever that ends with all. For example, glycerol, that is glycerine, sorbitol, OL, okay, propylene glycol, polyethylene glycol, whatever ends with all, okay, they usually are used as an humectant. These humectant, what they do is they retain the moisture, okay, inside the preparation, and it prevents the preparation from being flaky in nature. So this is the role of the humectant. So you can add glycerol, sorbitol, propylene glycol, polyethylene glycol inside your toothpaste so that they prevent the loss of moisture. The next and the most important ingredient is the liquid ingredient that you are going to add, that is the solvent. Water is the most common solvent that is used in the toothpaste. It either dissolves or disperses all the ingredients that are there inside the toothpaste, and it gives the required consistency that has been required. As I told, the ratio of solvent to if you take the ratio of solvent to solid ingredient, then in paste the ratio of solid ingredient is quite higher as compared to other semi-solid preparation. Okay. Now moving ahead, the most important ingredient again is going to be your foaming agent. What does this foaming agent? What are the foaming agents? They basically act as a surfactant. So this foaming agent has 2-3 roles. One, they act. You add surfactant as a foaming agent. These surfactants basically they help in the cleansing process. As I have talked to you, as I told you in your shampoos etc. जैसे वहां पे वो क्लींस करता है, it forms a micelle around the dirt particle or the oil particle, and it removes it. In similar fashion, here also this surfactant, they form a micelle, they form a layer around the plaque, they form a layer around the dirt etc. Okay, your food particle, and they are getting removed from it. Okay, so these surfactants, they help in removing of plaque, they will help in removing of the food particles, they are helpful in removing of any dirt etc. that has been accumulated on your teeth. Okay, it also Now, if you remember this foaming agent, if you remember, they also help in what? Distribution. There it was able to distribute a surfactants, okay, onto your hair, the foaming agent. Here also they help the dispersion of your toothpaste inside the oral cavity, isn't it? Also, it forms a very good it performs a very good function of your patient's psychology, isn't it? Jitna zyada foam, the more you feel better. So it your surfactants, they act as one as a foaming agent. They help in removing of plaque, dirt, etc. They help in dispersion of your what to call that flavors. They help in dispersion of your other ingredients which have been using inside the oral cavity. It gives a feeling of satisfaction, mental satisfaction that your teeth are now clean. Okay, and as I told you, it also disperses the flavor inside the toothpaste and inside your oral cavity, right? Now, surfactants which are having excellent foaming property, dispersion property, suspension property, permeation, cleansing property, okay, they all are used inside as your foaming agent. We have already seen different types of surfactants: anionic, cationic, okay, anionic surfactants we have, and amphoteric type of surfactants. This we have already seen. Okay, you should see to it that there is no toxicity or no irritation that is caused because of this surfactants. Okay. Examples of the surfactants that are mostly used are sodium lauryl sulfate, sodium lauryl sarcosinate, then sodium alkyl sulfosuccinate, sodium cocomono glyceride sulfonate, and sucrose fatty acid esters. These are the surfactants which have basically been used. Out of which, sodium lauryl sulfate, which you very well know, this is most frequently is been used. You can check out your toothpaste, okay, today, and just see which kind of surfactants have been added inside your toothpaste. Okay, take this as an activity. Check your toothpaste and which surfactants it has been added. Okay. Then the next is your flavoring agent, which has been added in order to, one of the functions of your toothpaste is to get rid of the unpleasant smell and taste that is there inside your mouth, which has been formed because of the action of your carbohydrate and your what call that microorganisms. Because of it, unpleasant smell and taste has been developed inside your mouth. Okay, in order to remove that smell and taste, and in order to feel fresh, you are adding different flavoring agent. Okay, flavoring cooling agents can be added. They are basically a combination of water soluble, insoluble essential oil, just as spearmint, peppermint, eucalyptus, menthols. They usually can be used. Menthol gives that cooling sensation to your breath or inside your buccal cavity. That is basically because of your presence of your menthol. Okay. Now these flavoring agents are solubilized and dispersed, okay, inside the paste and inside the mouth because of your surfactants, as we have talked about in our last slide. Okay. Now other ingredients that can be added are sweetening agent. It provides the sweet taste to your preparation. Okay. Ingredients that can be used are sodium saccharin, sorbitol, glycerol, xylitol. Okay, these are the different sweetening agents that can be used. Then xylitol is also known to have anti-caries activity. Okay. Then you have coloring agents which can be added. If you don't want the toothpaste to be white in color, you want it to have red color or some blue, green, etc. If you are preparing a herbal toothpaste, then you want it to have what you call that green color. If you want to have a toothpaste which will be attractive to the children's, then you go for the toothpaste like a red toothpaste. If you want to project it like it is having somewhat what you call that alkaline activity, then you can go for the what you call that the blue color. Okay, so different colors can be used in order to make your preparation attractive, and it also goes along with the flavors also. Sometimes you have a supposing, just for example, I have not seen any toothpaste having strawberry flavor, but for example, if you are having a strawberry flavor, then the pink color would go with it. Okay. If you have a chocolate flavored toothpaste, just for an example, then a brown color would go along with it. Okay, something like this. Okay, so your coloring agent should also go with your flavoring agent. Okay, that you are adding inside the toothpaste. Titanium dioxide can also be added, which gives different shades, which gives a matte kind of a finish, which does not make your color very dark in nature. So they can also be added. Titanium dioxide can be also added in the toothpaste which are non-colored. Okay, so that the white color comes out of it. Okay, so for that reason also, if your toothpaste is off white in color, then you can add titanium dioxide in order to make it white color. Okay, so that can also be done. Then the other ingredients that have been added are the preservatives in order to stop the microbial growth. The same preservative, that is sodium benzoate, methylparaben, propylparaben, ethylparaben, this can be used in your toothpaste. Okay. Now let us go to another ingredient which has been widely been used, and as you are pharmacist, hence you should know about this ingredient, that is basically the fluoride. Many preparations, okay, many countries have banned the use of fluoride also, because it has some harmful effects also. Hence the use of fluoride in many countries have been banned, and in many countries they have restricted to a very small quantity because of the adverse effect also which it is having. Here we are trying to study the role of fluoride as an anti-caries agent. Why I took this example is because I wanted to make you understand the process of caries formation also. Okay, now this is what you call it as a caries. Okay, so this is आपण बोलतो ना दात किडले. Okay, so this is the formation of caries. Okay, inside your teeth. As I told you, your tooth enamel is very strong in nature as such. But what happens is, you are eating food that is carbohydrate. This food remains on your teeth, okay, on your teeth surface, okay, over here for a longer period of time because of the action that is having. So it remains on your tooth if you don't rinse your tooth immediately after eating, or if you don't clean it at night and sleep, right? Then what happens is the food particles that remain over here. These food particles are fermented, okay, because of the action of bacteria. So bacteria is omnipresent, it is present inside your buccal cavity, it is present everywhere. Okay, so it attacks on this food particle and fermentation takes place. As the fermentation takes place, it produces the acids. Okay, the acid production, after the acid production, what happens is this acid now is able to attack your tooth enamel. Okay, as such your tooth is very strong, it is whole etc caries won't be formed. But because of this acid, okay, the what you call that, the hole is formed. And further, as I told you in my earlier this thing, that the food particles then go and stick inside it. Further, more acid is getting formed, further more hole is getting generated, and this process goes on continuously. Okay, and further what happens is this caries formation takes place, and finally it reaches to a level, from enamel it reaches to dentine. Okay, and from dentine it reaches inside where your nerves are present. So these are the nerve ending, these blue lines are the nerve ending. Okay, so it reaches the nerve ending, and once it reaches the nerve ending, okay, down here, okay, it reaches over here. Okay, sorry, these are blood vessels, I'm sorry. It reaches down over here, and here the nerve endings have been present. And when you eat anything, okay, when you eat some hot or cold, what happens is these what you call that, these particles or these solutions etc, they get in touch with your nerve ending, and that is the time that you say that your tooth has become sensitive in nature. That is known as sensitivity of your teeth. Okay, so you use some agent in order to you have the special toothpaste which takes care of this sensitivity also. So most of the anti-caries agents, as I told you, one of the most important anti-caries agent is the fluoride. Okay, different types of fluorides can be used. For example, sodium fluoride can be used, which is very common. You can have monofluorophosphate, okay, which is also very common. Then stannous fluoride can be used, okay. So these are the different fluorides that can be added to your toothpaste, so that, okay, this fluoride, what it does is it avoids the formation of your caries, okay. Now we have seen how the caries formation takes place. It is basically the attack of acid onto your tooth enamel, right? So what we are trying to do is we are trying to change the structure of the tooth enamel, whereby, okay, this acid is not going to get attacked. Basically, your structure of tooth enamel, it consists of hydroxyapatite. Okay, this is the structure of hydroxyapatite. I'm sorry, just a second. This is the structure of your hydroxyapatite, which contains this hydroxyl group inside it. When you are applying the fluoride toothpaste, this fluorine molecule, okay, it replaces the OH over here and it forms fluoroapatite. So you can see over here, this is getting replaced. This OH is getting replaced with your F, okay, over here. And your hydroxyapatite is getting converted to fluoroapatite. And this fluoroapatite is resistant to your acid. So whatever acid is getting produced because of the reaction of carbohydrates and microorganisms, okay, these acids are not going to attack your fluoroapatite, that is your enamel, okay. Your hydroxyapatite has been converted to fluoroapatite, and this fluoroapatite are resistance to acid, and this is how your fluorine, it prevents your caries formation. Fluoride also has one more property, okay. It is also having the antibacterial action, all right. How it is having an antibacterial action? This fluoride, when it comes in contact with the acidic environment which is present near the tooth because of the fermentation, it gets converted into hydrogen fluoride, okay. This hydrogen fluoride is an undissociated weak acid. This hydrogen fluoride enters into the bacterial cell that is present inside the buccal cavity in the tooth, okay. It enters inside the bacterial cell and it kills it, okay. It affects the physiology of a bacterial cell, okay, and hence the microorganisms get killed. So it also has the antibacterial activity. So it is acting in two ways. It is basically acting on your bacteria also, whereby these bacteria are getting killed, so the fermentation is not taking place. Secondly, even if the fermentation takes place, even the acid is being secreted, and this acid cannot now attack your enamel, because the enamel structure has been changed to fluoroapatite, okay. This is how is the action of your fluoride. I told you earlier only that FDA has recommended the level of soluble fluoride ion to be very less, that is in between 850 to 1150 ppm, okay. This much small quantity of fluoride can only be used inside your toothpaste. Again, there are many things which have been talked about, that a toothpaste remains for a very short period of time onto your onto your tooth surface. So really, whether the reaction between the enamel and this fluoride it takes place, and whether this really the conversion happens, and whether the fluoride is really being useful in order to control the caries, okay. These types of many theories and many doubts are also being put forward by many scientists, okay. But all said and done, fluoride basically used as an anti-carie agent in your, whenever added in your toothpaste, okay. Now moving ahead with one of the formulas that I have put forward over here, that I found out, that is, it consists of calcium carbonate, which consists of an abrasive agent. We have used sodium lauryl sulfate in near about 1%. Abrasives, you can see it is in a very high quantity. This is the major solid ingredient that is present inside your toothpaste. We said that it consists a high percentage of solid. So it contains near about 56% of your solid ingredient. Then you have sodium lauryl sulfate as 1%, which is used as a foaming agent and as a cleansing agent. Then you have glycerine, which is added as a humectant. It also provides that sweetening. It gives the impart the sweetness to your preparation. Near about 22% of humectant is been used. You have carboxymethyl which is used as a binder. Okay, near about 1.5% a gummy substance it is. Then you have water, which has been used as a solvent, which is 19.4%. You have saccharin as a sweetening agent. You have peppermint as a flavoring agent, and sodium benzoate is added as a preservative in this formulation. Okay, the method of preparation for a toothpaste is very simple. The first thing, as it is a paste, it is not a cream first of all, so there is no need of maintaining the temperature, etc. You can definitely increase the temperature in order to mix the ingredients, okay, over here. So here also we are increasing the temperature. We are using hot water, etc. But this heat is basically used for preparation of the solution, okay, and not for the formation of a cream that we have done. Excuse me. Just give me a minute. Okay, sorry for the disturbance. Now, as I was telling you that the method of preparation, what you do is you take a little bit quantity of water. In that little bit quantity of water, you add carboxymethyl cellulose, which is the binder. You heat it on a water bath in order to get a gel-like substances. A sticky mass has been formed, which acts. So you what you basically do is you prepare a binder solution. After preparing the binder solution, you keep it aside, this binder solution. Okay. Then further what you do is you take the remaining quantity of water. You have already taken only half the quantity of water. You take now this method is for preparation of any kind of a paste. Like when we have seen the creams, we have heated both the phases together and we have mixed them together. Okay, so that is the general method for preparation of any kind of a cream. So whenever you are preparing a cream, that is the only method that you are using. In the similar manner, whenever you are preparing a paste, this is the usual method that is being used. That is, first you prepare a binder solution. After preparing a binder solution, then you take water. In that water, you add remaining ingredients. That is, you add glycerin, sodium lauryl sulfate, preservative, etc. Okay, and then you mix them together. Then what you are going to do is you are going to weigh the required quantity of your sweetening agent, that is saccharin, your abrasive agent, that is calcium carbonate, and you are going to mix them in a mortar and pestle. Okay, so you have taken the solid ingredient now and you have mixed them inside the mortar and pestle. Now to this solid ingredients, that is saccharin and so calcium carbonate, you are going to add your step 1, that is the binder solution, right? And you are going to mix them well inside the mortar and pestle. Then you are going to take, or in a vessel. If you are doing it on a large scale, then in a vessel. Okay. Then what you are doing, or in a mill. Okay. Then what you are going to do is this step 2. Then you are going to further add to it. Okay. And you are going to triturate it uniformly. You are going to mix it uniformly. You are going to blend it uniformly in order to get a paste. Finally, you are going to add your flavoring agent and you are going to further triturate it very well. And then you are going to fill it into the plastic tube and then you are going to seal it and you are going to label it. So this is how your preparation of your toothpaste is going to take place.